Chapter 12. The first day in the camp. I belonged to Group 2, Team 3, in Block 3, which meant I had to stay in the first room of the fourth house on the left side of the road. The room was empty, so I had to lay a straw mat on the cement floor in the middle of the room to create a place to sleep and live. The first issue I had to tackle was finding water. I didn't have anything to store water in, so I had to find something suitable for drinking and washing. Scouring around the camp, I found a sheet of corrugated metal, previously used as roofing for homes of war victims in 1972. Unsure how to turn it into a water container, I bent the two ends like folding a sheet of paper, then folded the remaining two sides, transforming it into a square box. However, this first container couldn't hold water because it leaked everywhere. I decided to search again for something to seal it. This time, I found a steel helmet, a piece of tar paper, a few nails, and some wooden planks measuring 5 by 10 centimeters. I burned the tar paper to extract pitch for sealing the holes at the bottom of the box, then secured 2 wooden planks on its sides to stabilize the walls and serve as handles. I now had a water container, but it was too heavy for me to carry alone. I asked Deep to help carry it, and we agreed to share the water. That evening, we managed to fill the container, but we decided to use the water sparingly. By late June, the rainy season began. We made 2 more containers in the same way for water storage. With experience, we improved our technique. A few weeks later, I could even make round containers from corrugated metal. The next challenge was the lack of toilets in the room. I searched the camp for any latrines, but found none. The camp was surrounded by a sparse barbed wire fence, which I could easily slip through. There was only one guard post at the front gate. I realized the only solution was to find a shovel or hoe, crawl through the fence, not to escape, but simply to relieve myself. Since the camp was formerly an orphanage, finding tools like a hoe or shovel wasn't too difficult. This was the first lesson I learned about the so-called new cultural lifestyle of the revolution. Then I wondered where I could bathe. I wasn't used to bathing outdoors, especially with women and girls in the camp. I went to an abandoned corrugated metal shed that had served as temporary shelter for war victims, but many female inmates were waiting there. I had no choice but to return and bathe outside in my shorts. I realized that to survive in the camp, I had to quickly adapt to every situation. This was the second lesson I learned on my first day in the re-education camp. Later, we were called to the kitchen to receive dinner. It was my turn to collect food for the group, so I joined a line of inmates heading to the kitchen. The kitchen was a long shed about 50 meters long and 6 meters wide, consisting of rows of columns and a corrugated metal roof. 2 rows of clay stoves stretched along its length, one for cooking rice and the other for food and drinking water. Large pots sat on each stove, and I saw a few cooks stirring the rice and food with shovels. I received a bucket of rice, while my teammate collected a basin of pumpkin soup cooked with peanuts. Back in the room, I had to figure out how to distribute the portions equally among the 12 members of our group. I asked everyone to place their containers around the rice bucket, and I used my military cup to measure portions. My teammate did the same with the soup. This was our first dinner distribution. The rice we received was red-brown husked rice mixed with chaff, typically used as animal food. The soup was watery, containing a few slices of pumpkin and some peanuts boiled in salted water with a few green onion slices. I had to pick out the chaff from the rice before eating to avoid a stomachache. The first day in the re-education camp ended as we heard the clanging of a gong from the administrative area. It was the sound of a hammer striking a bombshell hanging from a tree branch. From then on, I had to get used to hearing the gong everywhere, for waking up labor hours, break time, and so on. Life in the camp revolved around obeying the gong and the orders of the cadres. This was the third lesson I learned on my first day in the re-education camp. As everyone set up their mosquito nets, whispers could still be heard in some corners of the room. It seemed everyone had stories to share with friends. But in this situation, what more was there to discuss besides pondering our uncertain fate in the days ahead? I fell into an exhausted sleep, thinking of my wife and our unborn child.